Welcome back, dear fiends of the den. I am still demonetized here. Rose Noir back in the den, back on the mic. I took a brief break. I just want to give you a little personal thing. I have fibromyalgia, which really never affects me, but this past weekend, the past 4 or 5 days, my body felt like lead. My neck and shoulders were on fire. It was a wreck. So I did smaller videos and tied them to larger videos. But if you don't see me around 5 days a week anymore, it's because I'm just trying to find the energy. So I'm down to like 3 to 4 days a week. Today, we are going to talk about the travesty of Donald Trump's administration and what he has done to the White House. Despite needing congressional approval as well as approval from the National Archives and, all of the building permits that go along with demolitions and rebuilds, well, Trump's done, again, exactly what he's wanted to do and has completely demolished the East Wing of the White House. Now, with this, these pictures were shared originally by the Treasury Department, by the way. This is via CBS News. But with this, there's just so much. Let's dive in. So let's chat about this. What we've got here is the demolition is happening, the East Wing is gone. They're saying it's being partially demolished. It looks completely demolished to make way for this $250 million ballroom that Donald Trump himself said in July of 2025 would not interfere with the current building. He said it would be near it, but not touching it. He also says that this is privately funded. So the administration says that this project is funded by private donors, not taxpayer money, which honestly I think is even more concerning than wasting taxpayer money on it because we're never going to get in. And now critics call this unprecedented. And even though the White House has undergone major renovations before, including Truman's full gutting of the White House in the 1950s, everything was done with congressional approval. This goes on to say that the president told reporters in September that construction had begun, though at the time no part of the White House building had been demolished. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt shared a social media post by Trump Monday announcing that ground had been broken for the new, big, beautiful White House ballroom. He goes on to brag. For more than 150 years, every president has dreamt of having a ballroom at the White House to accommodate people for grand parties, state visits, etc. I am honored to be the first president to finally get this much needed project underway with zero cost to the American taxpayer. So let's find out what this is all about. What is the East Wing used for exactly? Well, the East Wing is where the First Lady's offices are located and her staff. So Melania Trump did not want to do Christmas decorations. So now Trump has demolished her entire wing of the White House so she doesn't have to do it because who gives a about Christmas, right? Now, him saying it won't interfere with the current building, it'll be near it, but not touching it, pays total respect to the existing building, which I am a biggest fan of, but that is not true. Now, the original planned building is 90,000 square feet, but they're saying that this is likely to increase. The National Trust says, while the National Trust acknowledges the utility of a larger meeting space at the White House, we are deeply concerned that the massing and the height of the proposed new construction will overwhelm the White House itself. It is 55,000 square feet and may also permanently disrupt the carefully balanced classical design of the White House with its two smaller and lower east and west wings. And this is what the National Trust has written. And many people feel this way. It's going to be garish and it is going to be poorly built and probably going to be leaking because all of Trump's projects fail. It seems like Trump or the entire Trump family slash administration has no intentions of ever leaving the White House because this looks as gaudy as Mar-a-Lago, and it's not necessarily going to, well, none of the actual Americans who are poor, the 99% of us, are ever going to step foot in this. So what does this do except host all of the people he wants to bribe or want to bribe him? Now, of course, we know he already destroyed the Rose Garden with that gaudy patio. And as he was sitting out on that gaudy patio with some Republican leaders, he said, "You probably hear the beautiful sound of construction in the back. You hear that sound? Oh, that's music to my ears. I love that sound. Other people don't like it. I love it. I think when I hear that sound, it reminds me of money. In this case, it reminds me of lack of money because I'm paying for it." On what? The tariffs that you added to us that you put in your pocket? I'll tell you something. I have heard more outrage about Charlie Kirk than I have about the White House being torn down from all Republicans and MAGA alike. They are cheering this on, and you guys had some thoughts about that. So, your comments here, Blonde Equestrian Nurse says he also ripped out the iconic Rose Garden. Porch Pirate Pickup said, "Not gonna lie, losing the slave house doesn't hurt my feelings." Nikki 1129 says, "No one, and I mean no one, has done more harm to America than Donald Trump and MAGA." Mama K 1975 2.0 says they should just finish demolishing it so we can rebuild it and call it the People's House as a representation for all our diversity once these fascists are removed. Add your comments in because I want to know how you feel here too on YouTube. And then, based on the comment about demolishing the White House, we've got from user Creature Authentic Things, "I heard a psychic once say that it would be eventually turned into a museum and no one and would no longer be used as the home of the leader of the US." Like, yeah, no one should live there at this point. It should just be a museum and ceremonial. And Adventures with Birdie said, "Well, the OG building was built with slave labor and Congress has abdicated their duty. Why shouldn't people take matter into their own our own hands?" Yeah, we should. And Jennifer KLB said, "Sue Trump for reimbursement to restore it." So your comments are hilarious, fantastic, and do make good points. This is a complete and total vanity project. Just like the Arc de Trump, just like the plane from Qatar, just like the $180 million on two jets for Christy Nome, and all of this weaponry for ICE. They have long range missiles now, ICE in our own country. What is going on here? I mean, Trump destroying the White House is basically just his visualization. He's visually showing us, "I am destroying America for myself." And he's just going to keep dedicating things to himself because he wants his own legacy. He just wants to preserve it himself. He doesn't want us to do it for him. He wants to rewrite history because he knows he's a terrible president. I mean, in my opinion, he didn't get shot, he didn't win, and he's on the list. And Congress is on vacation, still getting paid, won't swear in Grijalva from Arizona so that she could be the 218th signature on the Epstein files. People are at risk of not getting paid, our military. People are at risk of losing food stamps, which is SNAP, and WIC for women with children. And if that happens, a lot of supermarkets are going to end up closing because they rely on these government subsidies to keep open the cost of running a supermarket. Everything has a cause and effect. And you let people go hungry for more than a day, they're going to turn. They're going to fight. And it's not going to be anything other than everyday regular Americans trying to survive, fighting what is left of the MAGA cult who won't give up, and the rest of this administration. And to ICE, who was just in New York City, who I know is in Goshen, New York, who's all around the state of New York, go home. Go home. Do something better with your life, you effing losers. Because when the time comes, and it will come, and there will be trials, your spot is not guaranteed in Argentina for that 20 billion or 40 billion that Trump wants to give out. This is the reason I am demonetized here in the den, folks. If you want to know what to do about that, check out the next clip. And thank you for joining me in the den. And of course, leave me your comments. Don't forget, because I bring you the truth, the den has been demonetized, and it's a signal from the shadows. So if you'd like to support the dark entertainment and Rose Noir's investigations, you can do so by tipping the detective. The paypal.me link is in the bio. Again, thank you so much for joining me in the den. If you've got something to say, send me an email at welcometothedenpodcast@gmail.com.